take a bunch of the casting flash out of it and do some work. Do we have a question?
Yes. Larry says, does anybody know if I can use a torque converter from a straight 6 Chevy for a 350?
Turbo 350 torque converter? Torque converter is to the transmission. It'll bolt up to the straight 6. I believe the flywheels are the same. They're the same bolt pattern.
Yes, turbo 350.
Yep, it'll bolt right up. No reason to change anything. It'll bolt right up.
Judy says, keep the lives on Thursday nights.
So Judy Ann, well, we're working against football, and so I got a lot of guys messaging me on the side saying, I got to watch it later or do whatever because football game's on, okay. So I don't want to step on that toes, and I don't want to do Wednesdays because that's church night. So I figure during the week, so Tuesday nights is what it's going to be. All right. And so if you guys didn't hear, the first news is that the shop building is done. Question? All right. And it's finished except for the electrical and the insulation. So it's up, it's in the dry, done. They've already been paid. They're gone. And it was a great experience. It was awesome to watch these guys work. And that video will be up Tuesday. Or if we do live on Tuesday, it'll be up on Thursday. Either way, it'll be up within a week. Any questions? Okay. How many is showing it's here?
85.
85?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. All right. I got a whole list. All right. Like I said, we already have a sponsor. B&A Engine Works out of Van Buren, Arkansas. Their contact information, their website, Facebook, and phone number and everything is on the description down below. Check them out. All right, we're going to move. I'm going to make the decision because of everybody's votes. We're going to move to Tuesday. So next Tuesday, we'll do the live instead of Thursdays from this point on. All right.
Cole says do a Tuesday and a Thursday.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I don't know I don't know that you have. Well, I take that back. Yes, you would have a lot to say.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if my internet will handle it the way it's going on tonight. I mean, all right, Cole, you're younger. I mean, okay, if I have a router and I have a wireless router and I have the modem sitting within 50 feet, 2 walls in between it. How do I what do I do to get internet to be stronger in this building and especially in the new building? What would you suggest? I mean, because this is something we fight almost every weekend. Then when we do this is I've got the best, I've got a really expensive wireless router in there and it has a hard time keeping up with the lives.
Larry says, oh, come on, Uncle Buck, just fill your glass up more.
Stuff like this aggravates me. I'm just because I'm not of this age. When the internet ain't working and everything just doesn't click, I get aggravated. All right. I don't know if you noticed, but I got the bottom end together. That video is coming out.
Larry says get an extender. We can move the extender that's in the house out here.
But then the television won't work right. We'd have to get another extender.
It doesn't.
It doesn't work?
No.
Well, then why did we get it?
Well, they thought it would help, but it doesn't.
Well, because it's the programming on the television, not the internet.
Not the internet. So we can bring it out here.
Okay. And we'll have to get another one from the shop.
That's fine. Okay.
Maybe we'll try that next week on Tuesday. So it's okay. Now officially we're changing to Tuesdays. All right. Got the big block back from the machine shop. No cracks. And she's vatted out, and I'm going to do a whole bunch of work, getting rid of cast and flash and a whole bunch of stuff and just pretty it up and make it look good. And let me tell you, they did a job. I mean, they pulled every plug, and it's going to be a really good relationship with B&A Engine Works. I highly recommend them. I mean, just great. Only bad news of the week is Junior is in Georgia for a month. He's doing classes. Now, the first 2 days he hated because it was all book. And he's like me. he doesn't do good with book learning. I mean, his mind wanders, and you know, if he don't keep his hands busy, and he just doesn't, you know. But the last 2 days have been in the shop doing engine work and stuff like that, diagnostics, which he's loved. Okay, so he says as long as they can keep it like half and half, then he might be able to survive this month. But he won't be back until we get back from Vegas. Which, by the way, I guess we'll change Vegas to Tuesday night.
Yeah, I guess.
Which one? What are we going? Are we going to Excalibur Tuesday night?
Something. We're doing something, but I can't remember which. We did this a long time ago. I don't even. I didn't remember what time we were leaving.
We'll figure it out. We'll get a live in while we're in Vegas. That way we can make it a tax deduction. Make the trip a tax deduction. Don't forget, you guys have all been kicking in and buying merch and everything. And for the giveaway, and it's like I said, it's going to happen Christmas Day. She's going to pick the name out of the hat, or the bucket, or however many we have. But I mean, like I said, every purchase of a product makes you a deal. So if you buy 5 things, you get 5 chances. So just keep it up. You guys are doing great. I'm really thankful for everything you guys are doing. All right. Now, the big news happened Friday. Summit Racing contacted me. They are starting an affiliate program, and I'm in the ground floor, one of the first to be asked. And I was invited in by the marketing director from Summit Racing. Okay. So in the description, there's a link. Like I'm calling the Summit Super Link. And it's, if you guys are just going to decide to buy something from Summit, go through my link, because that way it helps out with some money for all this stuff. Okay. So I am now affiliate officially of Summit Racing, which I'll be talking up a lot, but that just, all you got to do is go through that link if you make a purchase and you're supporting the channel. That's all I ask. Just use the link. And if you're going to buy something from Summit, I don't have like a Christmas code or a 5% off code or anything like that. It's just, if you go through my link, just like on Amazon, if you go through my links on Amazon, it makes a little bit of money for the channel. Same thing with Summit. So every bit of help, every bit of support would be very, very appreciated. But that's my list. It's been a great week. We've had a whole week of good things happen. You know, I didn't expect them to. I expected somebody to come up and drop a package, and then a crew come a couple of weeks later. No, the crew brung the package, and they worked from 7:30 to 7:30, 7:30 to 4:30, and there is not a piece of metal, not a screw, no trash. Everything's picked up, bagged up, and they did a tremendous job. I mean, I've seen some good crews. I mean, working 20 years in the steel industry and several years as a young man framing houses, and I've worked on a bunch of crews and worked with a bunch of crews. These guys were amazing. It was a privilege to watch them do what they do. Do you guys have any questions? Anything going on? How's everybody's life? Cole, what's your big plans for the winter on the race car?
Larry says I don't hear any background noise.
Yeah, no, because it's not cold, it's not hot. It's perfect in here right now. No fans, no air conditioner.
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Yeah, and you know how women are. They're always hot or they're cold. She's mainly always cold, which means I'm always hot.
Different Cole, I think, is what Project HQ said.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, what is Cole's plans for the winter for the race car?
He's in bed a long day.
Yeah. Kenny's too. Yeah. Yep.
Tear down, rebuild.
Tear down, rebuild. I'm doing a lot of that. But no, I mean, Santana told me that if you guys, she's shipping stuff all across the country. So, I mean, even if you're far away, she'll make you a deal and she'll do the work. And they go the extra mile. They actually have a guy that all he does is just polishes stuff and breaks edges and paints and does all kinds of stuff. It's not like your normal machine shop. It's like they go the extra mile. So So you will not be disappointed with the work you receive from them.
He Project HQ says big block, getting out of crate racing.
Oh, okay. Now, crate racing, is that kind of like Claimer back in the day, where you didn't want to, you wanted to find good used parts, where, donations, things like that, because somebody could claim your engine. I mean, back in my day, I think it was between $300 and $500. And if you run the race, the guy could claim your engine and pay you the money and so you don't want to put a lot of money into it because you might be losing money on the deal if you got claimed. Is that kind of the same thing with crate racing?
Cole Martin says, I'm here supporting you and Santana and B&A Engine Works.
Very good. Appreciate that very much. And they appreciate it very much. You're not going to find better people. You're not. I mean, she's awesome. And so is their whole crew. Those guys are great. Now, I am curious. Would you guys be interested in watching videos about the processes of doing an engine block? If I just set up a tripod and explain what was going on, would that be something you guys would watch inside the machine shop while it's happening? Would that be something you guys actually would like to see?
Santana says, Cole is my husband.
Oh. You know what? I should have known that, Santana. That she's the owner of B&A.
Oh, okay. Hello.
I thought you listened to me on your ride to work or back, not live.
So HQ says, no, they're all sealed GM Performance 602 crate motors, sealed by the Racing Series.
Oh, okay. Okay. See, I don't have much experience with that. So, like, with that kind of stuff, like I was banging dents out of stuff, helping guys out back in the day, with Claimer engines, and stuff for the little tracks down here around this area.
She said, I made it a point tonight. I'm going to try and make more lives.
Appreciate that very much. Very, very much. I'm sorry about my internet tonight. Sometimes it's wonky and it acts up. But I'll be talking to you. I think I'm going to work on this thing this weekend and get it all cleaned up, and I'll probably bring it back next week if it ain't raining. If we get a day, we went drought for 2 months, and now it looks like we got rain almost every day. Chance to rain every day for a week. So. But no, the big news is Santana's.
Santana says, are we recording in the machine shop?
If you would like me to, I mean, my guys, that's why I asked the question, is if they want to, if they would be interested in seeing videos. I mean, I have, you got to ask the guys if they're okay. I'm not going to put them on camera if they don't want to be on camera, but setting up a tripod and just explaining how the process works and showing it working. That's the kind of stuff that I enjoy watching. It might be, the best thing ever happened to both of us.
She said, let's do it. My guys are camera shy, but we can work around it.
Yeah, we can definitely work around it, making sure that, and I'm getting pretty good at editing stuff. I'm pretty sure that I can make it where I might get their voice on camera, but I won't get their faces if they're camera shy, and that's not a problem. I can be respectful that way. But yeah, it'd be a pretty interesting little series of just going through everything going with the big block. Couple 3 or 4 afternoons, we can make that happen. That'd be cool. Oh, by the way, Cole, I heard you worked for Jeff. Me and Jeff opened that shop together in the North Shop, and I retired out right before you hired in. So we stomped the same ground for a long time.
Project HQ says, I'm interested and wish they lived closer. Not sure about shipping engines for PA.
Well, I know for sure she's got one going to Tennessee, and they're going kind of different directions, and so freight is freight.
Parker T says, "What advice would you give somebody wanting to get into working on a small block Chevys?"
Watch videos. I mean, I got 3 of them coming out about this one already in the can, ready to go for the next month, and it explains everything. The whole rotating assembly I put together. Use plastic gauge, check everything. All the rings got sized, filed, and worked, and put together. How to put it together, how to torque them, how to do everything. I mean, all you gotta do is just watch the videos for the next month, and you'll have, besides putting heads on and head gaskets and stuff, which we will do, but this is the main thing. This is the hardest part, is the rings, the bearings, and the rotating assembly. Once you get that in, everything else is biscuits gravy. Everything else is pretty easy, and that's the fun part. But I'll go through the whole thing. Everything will get documented, and I'm trying to get done with this machine work and all for under 1,100. So a completely built the way you're supposed to build them, $1,100. That's what I'm trying to get through.
Santana says, "I got Tennessee, Georgia, Virginia, and Missouri in shop now."
So kind of close, Virginia, she's getting up in there. So, I mean, she can do the work. I'm telling you, you guys would not be disappointed with their work. I mean, it's going to be a great relationship. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of good information. And we're going to build a big block. We're going to build a monster together.
James says, "Hey, from Wisconsin. Hopefully I can get my aluminum 3.8 block for my 87 Grand National soon and make some big horsepower."
What part of Wisconsin? I was born in Sheboygan. That's 50 miles north of Milwaukee.
Parker T says, "You like cars better than EFI systems?"
Yes, I prefer carburetors. I'm old school. That's what I know. Now, electronic fuel injection is an amazing thing.
Also curious on your thoughts of the old GM Crossfire system.
Not a big fan. That's why it only lasted 82, 83, 84, because they just didn't produce power. I mean, I don't know why maybe it was a selling point or some kind of for promotion or whatever it was, but the Crossfire didn't last long. It was on, I think it was on Camaros and Corvettes, and it just didn't work good. It just was not a power producing. They'd have been better off just doing a single throttle body than the Crossfire. It was a complete bomb. Now, if you need to build a period piece correct 84 Corvette, you got to have it, because by the numbers it had it, but it was just not a good system. They were experimenting and figuring things out back then, and they figured out it wasn't good, and so they dumped it.
Cole says, "If the boss lady will let me, I'll pick up and deliver, but I'm not holding my breath."
Yeah, sounds to me like you got a boss lady, like I got a boss lady.
Outlaw Fabrications, how about a 90 square body Chevy Suburban out of Blackburn, South Carolina? I need to sell it. Got $13K in it and looking to get $10K to put on my 57 Chevy Sleep. I step side small window 454.
Okay, now here's where my head is right now. I've got this engine. I've got the big block. I've got Bamalam, which I don't have finished yet. I've got a drag truck frame and body out there that I need to work on. I have a Mustang that I have to do everything on. I have enough projects right now. I'm not buying anything for a long time until I get some stuff done. But I mean, it's one of the to-dos. I still need to get a second gen Camaro back in the house, and I want to do a Suburban, or she wants a Yukon, kind of a 2015-ish Yukon, that sort of thing, that kind of size. So, I mean, but right now, I'm not in the market for anything new. I've got enough projects.
James says, The one from Wisconsin says Milwaukee.
I grew up in Sheboygan. I was born in Sheboygan, and I grew up in Plymouth and Cascade and Waldo. And so I was 50 miles from where you're at, and all my family is still up there in Plymouth. They all work for Sargento and what's the broad company? Johnsonville.
Yeah.
All my family works for Sargento and Johnsonville. Mid America, great. Grew up. Yeah.
Tristan says, "What do you think of a carburetor on an LS?"
Fine. I mean, LS is not a bad platform. It's just not what I'm into. All my stuff is old. Everybody's putting LSs in everything. Carburetors are fine. I mean, they make good power. I mean, LSs make power. You can't argue with the fuel injection and everything. It's so expensive to buy a harness and buy a system and have to retro a tank and have to put an LS into an older whatever. There's a lot of modification involved, and that's time and that's money. And where you're spending $1,200 for a harness, just a harness, you can spend $250 for an intake and $450 for a carburetor, and you're done. And it's just money. If you got deep enough pockets, you can do whatever you want. But me, just for the bang for the buck, carburetors, intakes, headers, camshafts, and good flowing heads.
Park T says, "I got an 82 vet, so overcomplicated." Larry says, "My son had an 84 Corvette with a Crossfire. It sucks."
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why they come up with them. I think it was a marketing thing. I think some guy out there, some engineer come up with this idea, and they tried it, and it bombed terribly. I mean, it really did. They were not good, even when they were brand new. Because I'm old enough to remember when they were brand new, and they were not good.
Parker T says Camaro, Corvettes, and even the Trans Am.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Larry says it looks cool though.
Yeah, it looks cool. Yeah. I mean, when you pop the hood, you know what that is. But I mean, I think they were trying to do a new version of the Cross Rams from the 60s. Now that I'm thinking about it, but some engineer or some executive out there decided that was going to be a good idea, and it wasn't at all.
Project H, it's hard to find people here. Most of these are buying complete engines, $40K plus. It's insane. We will do it ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. What was the saying on the original Mad Max? The speed is just a question of money. Yeah, it's just a matter of how deep your pockets are, how fast you want to go. I'm thinking about. I want to know what you guys think about this idea. I have a drag strip that's 15 minutes from the house. It's Outlaw drag strip. It's Wiley's Outlaw in Sallisaw, and if this gets big enough and I get enough build-in, I'm thinking about sponsoring a class. Naturally aspirated, all steel, street, got to be street, run on hard tires, no power adders. Run what you run. Whether it's a truck, a car, whatever it is. But it's got to be naturally aspirated, no power adders, no boost, no nitrous, no nothing, hard tire, or maybe drag radials, and just have some fun, because that's still at that point is still attainable for regular Joe Schmo, Joe Q public, instead of having to have $100,000 in the bank and build a chassis car. That still isn't even competitive. I mean, we all watch Street Racing Channel. We all watch, Gen 2 Garage, Old Man's Garage, and all that kind of stuff. And all the Street Outlaws that are back on Discovery Channel now for a year. But, IHRA is all going pro mod. You got to have bucks. You got to be independently wealthy to be able to afford to race at that level now. Why not do something grassroots? That's why we always bracket raced, because it was cheap. It was, it was cheap fun. It was not that hard on the wallet. So I was going to reach out to them in the spring to the drag strip because I know them and see what they thought about, doing an Uncle Buck's class or something like that.
Demer says, I have a 79 GMC Sierra classic heavy half ton. Half.
Yeah, no, those are nice. Those are great. Solid trucks.
Kenneth says, you love carbs. How hard is it to put a high rise on a LS block?
Well, they make the intakes now. I mean, they make them. I mean, AFR, pretty much any manufacturer, they work off the market. If they think they can sell product, they're going to sell product. They make them. They make high rises. They even make dual 4 barrels. They make dual fuel injected. They make, if you got enough bankroll, you can get whatever you want. Speed is just a question of money.
Santana says the shop's about to do a 49 Chevy pickup truck if you get bored, LOL.
Hey, I'm gonna be around a lot. Trust me, Santana, I'm gonna be around a lot. Just tell me if I start bugging you because like I said, I'm gonna do work on that this weekend and I'm gonna bring it back to you on a day it ain't raining.
Glenn says hello from Truman, Arkansas. Hello from Wyoming.
Why do I know Truman, Arkansas? I'm sitting here on the Arkansas-Oklahoma border, but why does that ring a bell? Where is Truman? And hello from Wyoming.
The sound and the nostalgic from carburetor headers car, there's just nothing like it. That's from Larry.
Right. LS motors do not sound right. No matter how you cam them up, no matter what you do, they just don't sound right. They don't have that big block through headers thump. They just don't. They sound completely different. If you go to like a burnout contest, you can hear an LS from a mile away, but you can hear a cammed up thumping big block, and you know what that is when you hear it. They just don't. They make power. They sound different. They don't sound that good nostalgic 70s thumping. They don't sound that way. They sound tinny, pop canny. Just I don't know how to explain it. They just you know it when you hear it.
Any thoughts on part swap? This is from Project HQ. Any thoughts on part swap local sell locations on Facebook or somewhere? Cole is looking for a Victor Jr. intake for BB.
Yeah, I love Marketplace. I don't like selling on Marketplace. I haven't had a lot of bad luck selling on Marketplace. I find a lot of good deals on Marketplace. That's where I get the majority of like my parts trucks, take 2 or 3 apart and make one good one out of them and then sell off the difference. But Marketplace is, I didn't realize that Craigslist was still around. I hadn't heard about Craigslist in years, a decade, but it's still alive and kicking. But my majority of if I'm window shopping, I'm on Facebook Marketplace.
Doomland says, I have an 84 LeSabre I swapped with a 305.
Nice. But a question, why a 305 instead of a 350 or, a 383? Or is that just what you had?
White says, I got a 2.8 liter V6 Chevy S10 with 350,000 miles. Love the little truck, even if the cams for these motors are basic. Perfect circles with lope. But man, do they work. What do you think about it?
I had a friend that had a Blazer that had the V6 in it, and he had bought the, Ellerbrock was selling intakes. I'm pretty sure they probably still have them in a warehouse. He had bought a set of headers for it. He couldn't get a cam. He couldn't get a performance cam for it, but he had everything you could get aftermarket for it. He had it on it, and I'm sure those parts are still out there. It's just a matter of finding out who has them. But I mean, there are parts out there available for the V6s. And they're damn good little more. They're just a V8 with 2 of the cylinders cut off of them. They're the exact same build. They're the crank and the throws and everything. It's all the same dimensions, the bore size, everything. It's just 2 less cylinders, I'm sure. If you had deep enough pockets, you could get somebody to grind you or make you a cam, grind you one for it. If you wanted to try to make it thump and make it the RPM range a little bit different, but they're great little motors. You're just cutting off a cylinder, cutting off a section, and all the accessories bolt up. Everything they basically on the outside are the same, just minus two holes.
Judy says, Grant, you get that Mustang done so John and White can ride with their grandma? No, it hasn't even been touched.
No, I mean, yeah, no, he's
been busy with other things.
We have been, both our kids bought houses, moving them all summer, building the shop, hair on fire, waking up running 100 miles per hour from dusk till dawn for months. I'm looking forward to just taking 3 or 4 weeks off and then getting to Vegas and just taking some time off because my brain is fried, but I can't sit still. So I'm still going to do work. I'm still going to be porting heads and doing things. I got to order a cam, oil pump, things like for this. Get work done on the big block. Between the 2 businesses, between this business and my other business, life's pretty busy, and then I got the grandboys, and God, I love them. I love my grandkids. Just great. I love you, Tristan, John, and White. Love you guys. Okay. And spending time with them and spending time with Christina and the family, wives, lives, everything. It's just, some days are just ain't enough hours. But I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying life right now. I need a couple weeks off.
Larry says old school stuff. Buy it on the Saturday running on. Buy it on Saturday, running on Sunday, and drive it to work on Monday.
Well, when I was a yonker, I had a job. I worked Wednesday through Sunday. And if I had to do some kind of upgrade or fix or whatever, I had from Sunday at 4:00 till Wednesday at 8 a.m. to get it done. And boy, there was a lot of thrashing when I was a young kid. But I never was late for work, and it never was not running by Wednesday morning, But I can relate. Did it for a decade. That still kind of do it now,
Ken says, are these people changing rear ends in these crazy fast G-body cars?
What do you mean changing rear ends?
I lost where is that?
Well, I'm sure that they're doing, ring and pinion swaps and things like that for better gear ratio for whatever they're using them for.
See, LS with carb.
LS carbs. Yeah, they make power.
Wyatt says S10 with a 305 or a 350. Think we would rebuild S10 with a 305 or a 350. We think we would be really rocking.
Yeah, because they're light and they're full frame. That's why S10s are so popular at the drag strip, because they're really, really light. The weight transfer is good, and they're full framed, and everything just slides in and bolts in. And they get the same bolt pattern as like a Camaro, like a 70 through 81 Camaro Firebird, G body. They all have everything interswaps. That's why they're popular, because they're light. Because, you know, if you've been drag racing, you know, every 100 pounds is a tenth of a second. You know, so I mean, the lighter you can make your platform, the better. That's why Vegas were so popular back in the day. And Monzas.
Project HQ says no. Like a channel swap cell. Guys from here. I hate Marketplace, LOL.
Oh, okay. Well, I got a guy on the hook for engine parts. I mean, I don't know how good he's doing. We're supposed to meet up first of the month, see what's going on. But right now, I just don't have room. I've got big block projects and everything. But yeah, part swapping, that's always a deal. You know, YouTube has the new feature where you do collabs. You know, we could hook up on a collab, or do a joint live if we get the internet to work. You know.
Demon says all I had was a 305. I pulled from an 84 Camaro. Threw it threw an LT1 on my Camino.
Oh, okay, cool.
Blaine says I have a 1986 Ford F-150. Was the original, had in a inline 6, but we changed it over to a V8 with the Mustang heads on it. Should I put aluminum pistons on it? It can run 1/10 race gas.
I'm not a fan of doing that. Not just for fun on the street. Okay, you can overbuild anything. Like this one is going to be 8.5-1 compression. If I mill the heads and find a set of heads with smaller combustion chambers on them, then it might be 9-1, 9.2-1. I like simplicity. I like being able just to pull up to the gas pump and just hit, you know, the, you know, 89 octane, 91 octane, and just be able to fill up right there and not have to worry about race gas, not have to worry about additives, not have to worry about it. Just the more simplistic you build it, but still make power, the more fun it is, because then you can enjoy it. But if you're having to go make special trips to get a barrel of gas, mix things, have to adjust things because of compression ratio, that ain't fun. Set it and forget it, and just build them for pump gas, just for fun. You know. Now, the big block, if it's going in the race truck, you know, it's probably, you know, I'll see if I can make a deal, get a set of aluminum heads, maybe a ton of Rams, twin 4s, you know, turbo 400 with a stall in it, and just let it rip and get, you know. I mean, but it won't be streetable. It, you know, it won't. It'll be fun to drive on Saturday night, but it'll sit in the garage the rest of the time. Which to me, at this point in my life, I'd rather just enjoy driving and wrenching on something. That's why I'm so enamored with BAMLM right now, because I mean, I can reach into it right now, not even hit the gas, not even give it a pump, it'll fire right off and just idle like a champ, you know. And that's what it's all about, you know. Question?
Are we talking about a 4.3 or a 2.8?
Now, I've had both. Well, I had a friend that had 4.3, but I had a 2.8, which I made a 3.1 liter in a 92 Camaro. I souped up and poured out a set of heads and rebuilt that engine in the old house, the white one. T-tops, you know, everything. It was a lot of fun. I put a big Flowmaster on a V6, and it sounded like a rice chopper. But I mean, I love that car. It was a lot of fun, and it had decent power, and it ran great. It was fuel injected. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
Ways to bring out power on a stock 305.
Headwork, intake, exhaust headers, headwork. You know, a little bit bigger cam. Just, you know, every engine is a big air pump. The better air in, the better air out, the more efficient it becomes, the more power it makes. But what you're going up against, beating your head against the wall with the 305 is just cubic inches and just ability to make horsepower, because you're limited by the cubic inches of the motor. Same problem with 302.
So a little off topic, but what do you think about the Nissan Frontiers? I recently got one at 53K miles on my first car. I bought it. I plan on keeping it for a while.
If you're happy with it, fine. But my moniker is, that's the other thing. Is now that once I get the shop wired for electric and we get it insulated, I'm going to be putting myself out for side work. But my side work is going to be, if it's got a computer on it, I ain't working on it. If it takes metric tools, I'm not working on it. It's just a matter of what. I have nothing against guys to do imports. I have nothing against guys to do whatever. The car community is the car community, but it's just not my thing. Okay. Now it's my son's thing now, because that's what he's taking classes for right now. But if you're happy and you enjoy it, that's all that matters. Make it your own. Do some stuff to the interior, do some stuff to the exterior. Electronics. Things like that. Make it your own and enjoy making it your own. That's the whole point. Doesn't matter what you drive, just as long as you enjoy and make it your own.
Wyatt says 2.8 L, not really a performance pattern. I think you're thinking of the 4.3.
I'm thinking about 4.3, but I had the 2.8 liter that I did a rebuild on. 3.1 liter. In the Camaro, in the 92 Camaro. But yeah, I'm thinking about the 4.6 liter.
Okay, Larry says, I remember my mother taking me to the drag races, buying a car from the drag races with a 427 1968 Chevelle. Take me to school on Monday.
Yeah, that's one. But that's also when you could have 12.5 to 1 compression. You could pull up to the gas pump and buy ethyl, which was like 116, 118. That stuff was that was ladder fluid and explosive, and but you could buy that out of the pump. Can't do that anymore. So I mean, that's why 8.5, 9 to 1 compression is where I'm going. I'm gonna make as much power as I can with that compression ratio, just off the pump gas.
Makes sense. What do you say about your friend not being able to find the cam for his Blazer? Because like I said, the cams for those are tiny, 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 at least for the 2.8.
You could call directly Summit, Edelbrock, Howard's cams, and see if they have something new, old stock off the shelf from the mid 80s, and see if they have something. I know Edelbrock made parts. I know for a fact Edelbrock made parts, because I used to have their catalog, and they had a whole section for the 4.3 liter V6s and stuff like that. So they might still be out there, because that kind of stuff they don't just throw away. It might be on the shelf for 40 years, but it may still be on the shelf. You just don't ever know until you call and ask or contact them and see what they can do for you.
Doolin says, I've tried to convince my buddy to get an older truck like a old Silverado, but he ended up going with a 25 Tacoma. Project Wyatt says Project HQ face market can be a nightmare, but then again, it's the only place where you can find a tricycle that is powered by a turbojet engine.
Yeah, you can. If you got you can search it. Like I said, like I said, I didn't know.
And he says yes and yes. That is a post I have found on Facebook Marketplace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's some really outlandish stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and some of the most outlandish stuff. I saw a homemade extended cab square body 30 miles away. He had it listed for years. It had been relisted, and it looked like it was a decent job, but it was, they just took the back of a cab and extended it and everything. But he was like, you know how you get them. I know what I got. I know what this is worth. I'm not going to take any penny less than it. And he still got it. Okay. I love those guys on Facebook that, I know what I have and I'm not going to take a penny less for it. Well, okay, keep it. If you want to sell something, you got to have a little give sometimes, but yeah, he still, after years, he still has that truck and it'll pop back up every 2 or 3 months for a month's worth of listing. And he just, I never understood that mentality. I never did, just question. No, I never understood that mentality of I'm going to sit on something and let it rot to nothing. Every year it sits out in the weather. It gets worse and worse and worse. I'm going to sit on this thing until I get the dollar amount I want. And then how many of you guys know old timers that have passed and their kids just junked it? When he could have had, instead of having $10,000, he could have had $3,000 and it would have been out of his hair and out of his yard. And he could have done something productive with that money years ago. I never understood that. I mean, every time I've had somebody show up at my place looking for doors, fenders, hoods, whatever, it's whatever you think the price is fair. And I've never been undercut. Never been undercut. I mean, I know, a hood, a good straight hood is going to be X amount of dollars. And, they'll say, I don't want to insult you or whatever, and they throw out a number that is more than you thought you'd get for it. I never, and it's going to leave because it's just taking up space in my yard, aggravating her, because she doesn't like the yard looking with parts strung all over it. That's the whole point of having a lead to on the new shop because it's all back there out of sight,
They're putting down crazy rubber dancing all over the road with the LS swap in the G bodies. Wondering why they get so loose.
It's the rear end suspension. They're not designed for it. It's like a half-ass 4-link, but it's not got the right ratios on it and the right angles on it. So it makes it unload after you hit the initial hit on it. It wasn't designed for drag racing. A G body suspension was never designed for drag racing. It was designed for road courses and it was designed for comfort and for stability going down the road highway at 65 miles per hour. Once you get it past a certain point, the suspension unloads, tires get loose, and you got the G, what they call the G body shuffle. Had the same thing in the Monte Carlo. There was no way to tighten it up, and unless you boxed everything, added weight because you're welding plates on, factory stamped control arms to try to keep it in place. Bushings make it sloppy. Old bushings make it really sloppy. It's not designed for drag racing, any kind of serious power. And that's where the fallacy of the G body shuffle is. Whether it's Cutlasses, Regals, El Caminos, whatever it is, if it's got the 4-link with the coil springs on it, it's not designed to take any kind of serious power. It's a bad design for that. It's great for going down the road on the highway, cruising and being comfortable, but it's not designed for drag racing.
Project HQ said we could. I am way behind on the channel. I had foot surgery and it slowed me down, way down. Hopefully get one on here in the next couple of days. I think I'm okay with a joint thing sometime.
Yeah.
Larry says, I'm with you, buddy. I want something that's a daily driver that scares my wife sometimes.
Okay. And I saw a good thing. I saw a thing on TikTok. It's about over prepping your hot rod. Okay. Now, I like being able to get in it, start it. Now, it might be rumble and it might be a little cold natured and stuff, but You know, as long as the radio turns on, the heater works, I'm good. You know, pump gas, thumping, get noticed. You know, because nothing gets attention like a older hot rod that you can hear before you see, right? Then you start getting, well, a little bit of fun, a little bit more money, a little bit more power could be a lot more fun. There's a balance. I wish I'd never took my 81 Camaro and turned it into a drag car. I would still have it today, but I shelled it out, caged it up, turned it into my protection drag racing, because I had guys coming up my ass doing 150, 160 miles per hour. And if I was going to take a hit, take a lick, I was going to walk away from it, you know? So I over-engineered the cage. Okay. But I made it where it was not fun to drive. It was okay to put it on trailer, drive 4, 5, 6, 10 hours to go to a drag strip and to go to a meet and run it 3 or 4 times a weekend, or 6 or 8 times if you're making rounds. But I never drove it on the street after that point because it was not fun to drive. There was no heater system. You know, it was loud, it was obnoxious, you know, and it was bouncy, and it was designed, worked for the drag strip, but it worked like shit for the street. And that was the worst thing I ever did. So I am at this point in my life, I want to build it and enjoy it. I don't want something just for the weekends on the drag. You know, like I'm even thinking about trying to get some kind of happy medium with the drag truck. You know, I mean, I could put a cage in it, just put a shell around it, motor, transmission, weigh 2,800 pounds, you know, make a monster. But it wouldn't be any good to drive on a street. I can't go to the parts store in it. How do you enjoy something if you can't drive it on the street? Like on a day-to-day. It never made sense. You know, I learned my lesson. I won't ever do that again.
Jason says, hello, my name is Jason. I have an 88 S10 with the 350 SBC with the AFR heads, 580 lift cam in it. Runs
Roller.
Great.
Yep.
And a TH400.
Turbo Hydro 400. I got one against the wall over there. Yep. Nice. Now, with the roller cam in it, what I caught a couple of videos this week about guys stripping distributor gears out. What distributor gear what type of gear do you have on your distributor to work with that roller cam?
Kenneth says, can you put a 2500 stall in a GM L80 trans?
I have no idea. Like I said, it's all computer controlled. I don't deal with it.
Wyatt says, stay away from the new Nissans. Their trucks fare much more reliable. Cole says, send it to B&A.
We're going to send a lot of business to B&A.
Okay, and Wyatt says, oh shit, I didn't think you could build a 2.8, but now that you think about it, I'm pretty sure you can bolt a 3.2 up heads onto a 2.8.
Yeah, that's the great thing about the internet. I mean, like when I built that 3.1 liter and basically bored it out and built it up to like a 3.3 liter in that Camaro, I did a lot of work. I just went old school with it. It was fuel injected throttle body. I did a lot of work on it. You know, it was my first foray into something that had metrics, anything on it, and I had to buy tools and stuff to get it done. And it was a learning experience. But I mean, it still had a distributor. It was fuel injected, but had a distributor. You know, and it was a tunable and adjustable. And I had a buddy that worked at a parts store that had been dealing with them for a while, and he told me a couple of tricks. I mean, everything's relative. You know, it's just a matter of what you're into. But you do enough research, you can make something fun.
Project HQ says, Miss Buck, sorry about the typos. I have fat fingers on my phone with this tiny keyboard. That's okay.
It's okay.
I don't know what the heck I'm saying, so it's all good. Boost says I have hands on a 76 C20. Is it worth bringing back?
Absolutely. I have a friend that works at my butcher shop that I go to, and me and my son were in there 2 weekends ago, and he was popping off about it. Said he just bought a new truck and he's thinking about selling the square body. We talked him out of it because they're just, the coolness factor is just there, and like from experience, I told him, I said, if you sell it, you'll regret it every day that you've gotten rid of it. Build it, make it your own, enjoy it, make it streetable, make it where it's enjoyable to drive, make it comfortable, make everything work because they're simple. If you got one, keep it and don't do anything radical with it. They're so much fun. And you're going to get noticed if you slick it up enough, and you're going to get noticed. They're attention getters. Square bodies are attention getters. Just like they're getting to the point where like 68 Camaros and Novas and stuff are attention getters. Square bodies got to be the point of being the same way.
If I put headers on my 81 C10 with a 305, can I still use the column shifter?
Absolutely. As long as it's not a four-wheel drive. You absolutely can.
Santana says, I have a 4.3 liter complete prep for sale on Marketplace. Can't give that thing away. Looks great, though.
Oh, Santana, tell them in the comments of the other engines you got that you need to unload, because I think you have a couple of them, don't you? I mean, you don't ever know. You might find you a buyer here.
Steve says, I got an original Miley fixed up to 2002 ST Sport Truck. I'm the original owner. It's rust free and low miles. 110,000 miles. It's a daily driver. Would consider 15,000 for it.
I'm not in the market to buy anything.
I guess he's putting it out there for anybody in the chat. There you go.
Yeah.
Ken says, I always thought everything was negotiable except the death and taxes. Just like this 2008 W90 900 that's been sitting for 15 years and still wants 60,000 hose and tires dry rotted.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. But those guys are out there. They're always out there. I know what I got, and I'm going to sit on it forever until I get the price that I want. And then they die, and they never got their price, and their kids sell it off for scrap.
Wyatt says, I completely agree with the Facebook pricing. I always say it's worth what someone is worth paying for it, but also there are other sides, supply and demand.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. But I mean, you can either hold on to it forever, or you can get a little bit of money in your pocket right now. And that phrase has been the winner over and over and over again over the years of buying them out of the weeds, to take two or three, make one good one out of it. It's just, you said, I understand you want what you want, but this is what I'm going to give. And you can either have some money now, or you can not have any money ever. So what do you want to do?
Yeah. Let's see here. Ken says, an 84 5.0, can you hear it 5 blocks away? Stainless steel exhaust.
No, not normally. No, not the 5.0. We're talking about Mustang, right? They have their own tune. But I mean, like what we're talking about is like a old school small block, big block compared to new gen LS motor. They just don't sound the same. They're just not. I mean,
Good evening. Do you know any good engine builders or machine shops in your area?
oh yes, I do. B&A Engine Works. The link is down below in the description of this channel. It's of Van Buren, Arkansas. Matter of fact, the owner and operator is on the live right now with us.
Yep, I regret selling my first original truck, which was the same truck I have now, 2.8 liter V6, but had to significantly less miles, and the body was much cleaner.
Yeah, we always miss that one that we let get away. Every one of us has that one that we let get away that we should have never let leave the driveway, or made it into your daily driver, made it into a race car or whatever, or overdo it. Yeah, we all have that one vehicle.
Rob says, I've built a few square bodies and helped a lot of friends with theirs. Fun trucks.
Great trucks.
Wyatt says, let me know what you got. Let's see here. Cole, my favorite truck I've ever had was an 82 Dodge D100 with a 318.
My first car in high school, I had it for 2 weeks. 69 Dodge Dart with 318 automatic. It looked like the car from Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke. That's what it looked like. 3 colors of green. You know, that 60s green. But it had low back bucket seats, the chrome console and everything. And my brother-in-law still has a scar on his forehead from when he hit the river mirror when we had the wreck.
Wyatt says, can't say yes, but I'd be interested for sure. Guess
Say it again?
The motors, I guess.
Yeah. We're gonna have a lot of them.
Bob says, what's your opinion on the Dodge LA 318/360?
Great motors. I mean, like I said, my first car was 318. It run like a top, you know. But again, with a 318, you're hampered by cubic inch. There's just there's only so much you can do when you're lower on the cubic inch range. So the 289s, 287s, 307s, you know, the 318s, the 305s, 302s. They're all hampered by the amount of power they can make because of the cubic inches. That's why big blocks, they effortlessly make 400 plus foot-pounds of torque, which is what gets you moving. And they effortlessly, with a good set of heads or good breathing, everything can make 500 plus horsepower on the top end to get you your speed. I mean, it's just cubic inches is the key. That's why, you know, the IHRA, which is coming on strong, thank the Lord, after a couple of decades of being in a dumpster, they're running mountain motors. They're running 800, 900 cubic inches, and they're making huge numbers. And they're a lot of fun to watch, you know.
Cole says, sorry, it's a D150.
It's fine. It's as long as you're happy with it. I mean, when we first got married, her dad gave me an old 69 or 68 Ford pickup truck.
I think it was 69.
Yeah, and it had the old 390 FE motor in it. And that thing was, when I got it, it was run on 7 cylinders. When I sold it, it was run on 7 cylinders. It had a dead hole. The rings were toasted in it, and I never rebuilt it. But that thing was Timex. It was solid. You could run out of oil, put some oil in it, start right back up, get it super crunchy hot, put some water in the radiator, it would start back up. It never left me stranded. I drove it back and forth to work for several years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they built them to last back in the day, whether it was Ford, Dodge, or Chevy. But I just, my first car was a Dart, and my second car was a 73 Monte Carlo. I had that thing for 9 years, and I've been a Chevy guy all my life. I mean,
Cole says said, Cole, I had a 79, enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
Santana says, currently I have in the shop that is unspoken for is a pre-AFM LS, early 90s, 4.3 L with everything needing to be installed, and an 80s 302 roller block. None are built, but so they can be built free.
An 80s 302 roller block? Santana, I have a 68 Mustang here that needs a motor. And that's exactly right up the alley that we need to make it. We need to talk. We might make a deal on that because that's exactly what I was thinking of for Miss Christina's Mustang. I was thinking a 302 roller block. If you got one that need to get moved out of the way to make space, we might make a deal on that deal.
Zach says I have a 302 Chevrolet motor.
302 Chevrolet motor? Or do you mean a 305 or a 307? Or is it a 289 that's been bored? Because I don't think Chevrolet ever made a 302 factory. Unless it's been modified for something else.
Larry says that's just part of getting old. Wyatt says, Santana, do you know the mileage and price? Cole says, you had to want to hurt those 318/360s.
Yeah. No, they're bulletproof. I mean, no, they're great engines. They're great engines. It's just not what I'm into. And I just don't have any Mopars. I mean, now I have a friend that's super Mopar. He even wears an orange hat. And, and I got a couple of videos of his drag car, which he now has sold. But he's Mopar orange as they get. I mean, where I'm Chevy, he's Mopar. But that's the same friend we'll be going to SEMA with next year, Michael. And that's who I went to PRI with this winter was Mike. And we used to run the drag strip here in Sallisaw together. Mike ran it, and I helped him run it. And we had a good time. And if you find those friends as you get older that you didn't know when you were a kid, but you click immediately with, and that's kind of the way I feel about Santana. But me and Mike are brothers from another mother, and it's like we got a bond that's unbreakable. And it's just he is genuinely my brother.
So Santana says everyone's into the small block craze right now. I'd love to see you start big block come back.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I mean, like I said, I got the one that's on the stand that's coming back to you, and I've got 2 more coming. I've got 2 more already taken care of. I just gotta get electricity in a shop and get it insulated so I can go up there and start getting truckloads full of stuff.
Santana says, Wyatt, on which one are you referring? I don't know the mileage on any of them. Their core builds came in a complete engine and were tore down, slated for build.
Yeah, but that's what she goes through with the machine shop. But I can tell you guys, whatever you want done to it, she can do it to it.
Dave said Chevy yet made the DZ302 hot engine.
Are you talking about like the motors for like what am I thinking of? The Can-Am motors, the 302s during the late 60s, early 70s. Is that what we're talking about? Yeah, now that you said it. Yeah, I think you're right. Boy, that's a rare engine.
Wyatt says Santana copy. I thought they were complete engines. My bad. And Wyatt says, but it looks like you might have a buyer on the 302.
We'll make a deal.
Santana Chevy 302 was 67 to 69. Camaro Trans AM only application.
Yep. Now Dave said that. Yeah. Now I remember. Yeah. Because of the Trans Am circuit, the racing circuit. Weren't they relegated to a certain cubic inch, and that was why it was produced, just to be able to run the factories for the Can-Am series. Yeah.
302 283 with a 327 crank.
There you go.
69 Camaro Z28 with a 302.
And probably a 4-speed.
And
there it goes. Now it's squeaking.
Yes, I know. Yeah, factory blueprint engine, 290 horsepower.
Yep.
Underrated.
Now I have heard that those things would do 7,000 RPMs without even breathing heavy. That they would twist hard. I had an old friend that was a mechanic. He liked 307s because they would do a lot of RPMs. He just liked to hear them sing.
He said, and Larry says, very sought after. I think Pudding Creek Rod Shop was looking for one.
What time is it?
9:30.
Well, it's 9:30. Okay, we're going to call it. We both have to work in the morning. And I'm going to have to edit this up a little bit and take 16 minutes out of mess up because of the internet. I will get this kind of stuff figured out. I will get this figured out. You guys got any last questions?
351 Windsor or 350 Chevy. Any preference apart from the access or the distributor?
If you're going to ask me, I'm going to say Chevy all day long. Because that's what I know. That's what I know how to make work. You know. Now I'm told you can put a 351 Windsor. I don't know much about Fords, but I've been told you put a 351 Windsor in between the shock towers of a 68 Mustang, not a Cleveland, because the Cleveland apparently is wider.
Santana says a 351 Cleveland, LOL. That was an option.
Yep. It's a long way to go. I gotta get body work done on it first and put 4 pans and a lot of welding and a lot of work. And then we'll talk about drivetrain. But it's definitely on the slate to get started with. Okay. If you haven't done it yet, smash that like button. That helps out a whole bunch. And if you haven't thought about it, check out the t-shirts. We got new hats. Presley, my daughter-in-law, she designed new hats this week. They really look cool. Buckweiser hats. They're on available. And remember, if you're going to buy something from Summit, go through my super link and help out the channel. That's all I got to do. You're going to buy the parts anyways. Just help support the channel. Really, really appreciate it. You guys have a great day. And we're going to see you on Tuesday. No more working against the football.